There comes a time in your life when you must stop explaining yourself to people who do not have the capacity to understand you. Not everyone deserves access to the deep chambers of your heart. Not everyone has earned the right to hear your vision, your dreams, your plans, your next move. Some things are sacred, and when God plants a seed inside of you, it is not for the world's approval. It is for your obedience. Too many of us waste our strength trying to convince people who were never meant to walk with us. We spend hours, days, months trying to justify why we are becoming who we are. But destiny does not require an audience, it requires discipline. What you need most in this season is not applause, not validation, not even recognition. It is focus. Focus is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers, the imitators from the originals. When you focus on yourself, you start to recognize that silence is a strategy. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not passivity. Silence is power, because silence teaches you how to conserve your energy for the right battles. It keeps you from wasting precious words on people who are not listening anyway. Silence allows you to stand still and watch God fight for you. You are carrying unnecessary weight because you've been explaining yourself to everybody. But hear me, your breakthrough will not come from your explanations. It will come from your elevation. And you cannot rise while you are constantly reaching down to justify why you're climbing. The higher you go, the less people will understand you. But that is the cost of growth. Focus on yourself, because you are the project. You are the assignment. You are the vessel that God is shaping. Stop pouring into everybody else while you're running empty. Stop letting your mind get distracted by comparisons, by arguments, by the noise of people who do not know your process. Stay silent long enough to hear your own thoughts. Stay silent long enough to hear God's voice. Stay silent long enough to recognize that peace is not found in proving a point, but in protecting your purpose. Focus demands sacrifice. It means saying no when everything in you wants to say yes. It means turning down invitations, stepping away from gossip, walking out of environments that drain you. It means disciplining your mind not to respond to every criticism, every rumor, every insult, because your destiny is too great to be delayed by distractions. When you learn to focus and stay silent, you'll discover that not everybody needs to know your next move. You don't need to announce everything. You don't need to defend everything. You don't need to prove anything. Your life will prove it. Your results will prove it. Your growth will prove it. The enemy would love to see you distracted, scattered, broken down by the opinions of others. But the moment you master silence, you disarm him, because silence is where clarity is born. Silence is where strategies come. Silence is where strength is restored. So focus on yourself and stay silent. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more transformation. And transformation always starts in the quiet place, where nobody is watching, where nobody is applauding, where nobody is listening, except God. ChatGPT said, "There is a moment in life when you must realize that not everyone will see what you see. Not everyone will understand what you carry, and not everyone has the capacity to walk the road you are walking. That is why your energy cannot be wasted on convincing people who are determined not to understand you. When God puts something in your spirit, when he places a vision in your heart, that vision does not need to be broadcasted to everybody. It does not need to be validated by people who do not have the authority to approve your destiny. What it needs is for you to protect it, to focus on it, to water it in silence until it grows strong enough to stand on its own. The challenge with so many of us is that we crave affirmation from those who cannot give it. We want support from those who were never assigned to us. We are distracted by opinions, consumed by criticism, and drained by trying to make people see what they were never meant to see. But growth cannot happen in noise, it happens in silence. A seed does not grow above ground where everyone can step on it. It grows buried in the soil, hidden, unseen, covered in darkness. And yet in that quiet place, strength begins to form. Roots go down deep. Life begins to push its way through the dirt until it breaks forth in power. In the same way, your destiny requires a season of silence. Not every idea you have needs to be spoken. Not every dream you carry needs to be announced. Not every plan you are working on needs to be displayed. There is power in moving quietly. There is wisdom in staying silent, because silence is not weakness, it is strategy. Silence is how you guard what is fragile until it becomes unshakable. Silence is how you protect what is developing until it is ready to be revealed. Focusing on yourself is not selfish, it is stewardship. You are the vessel, you are the assignment, you are the one that God is shaping. If you keep pouring into everybody else while neglecting your own soul, you will run empty. If you keep fighting every battle, responding to every insult, arguing with every critic, you will drain the energy that was meant to be invested into your calling. Sometimes the best response is no response. Sometimes the strongest move is silence. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to keep your eyes fixed forward and refuse to be distracted by what is behind you or around you. When you stay silent, you learn how to listen. You learn to listen to your own heart. You learn to hear the voice of God more clearly. You learn to filter out the noise of the crowd and discover the stillness where wisdom lies. It is in silence that ideas begin to form, that clarity begins to come, that strategies begin to unfold. Noise brings confusion, but silence brings direction. Focus requires discipline. It means walking away from the conversations that do not serve your future. It means closing your ears to gossip, shutting your mouth to arguments, and refusing to waste energy defending yourself. It means turning down invitations that will distract you, and saying no to people who only want access, but not responsibility. Focus means staying committed to what matters even when distractions are loud and tempting. The truth is, your growth will confuse some people. The changes in your life will make others uncomfortable. The higher you go, the less people will understand you. But you were not created to be understood. You were created to be fulfilled. You were not designed for everyone's approval. You were designed for God's assignment. So you do not need to explain. You do not need to announce. You do not need to prove. Time will prove you. Results will prove you. Growth will prove you. There are seasons in life where the greatest strength you can demonstrate is not in how loud you can be, not in how many arguments you can win, not in how well you can explain yourself, but in how quiet you can remain when everything in you wants to speak. Silence is not the absence of power. It is the evidence of control. It shows that you have matured beyond the need to react to every word, every opinion, every misunderstanding. There is a wisdom that only silence can carry, a dignity that cannot be shaken by noise, a discipline that allows you to hold your peace even when provoked. When you focus on yourself, you begin to recognize the value of conserving energy for the battles that truly matter. Not every fight deserves your attention. Not every critic deserves your response. Not every insult deserves your words. When you choose silence, you are choosing strength over impulse. You are choosing destiny over distraction. You are choosing growth over validation, because the truth is, people will talk whether you respond or not. They will misunderstand you whether you explain yourself or not. They will create their own versions of your story whether you correct them or not. So why waste your breath trying to correct what God Himself has the power to set straight in His own timing? Your silence is not for them, it is for you. It is the space you create to hear your own soul again. It is the pause that allows you to realign with what truly matters. It is the shelter you build around your spirit so that you are not torn apart by every storm of words. Silence becomes the place where peace is cultivated, where strategies are birthed, where clarity is restored. Without silence, you cannot focus, and without focus, you cannot grow. Focusing on yourself does not mean you are selfish. It means you are taking responsibility for the life you have been given. You cannot pour into others if you are empty. You cannot serve well if you are broken. You cannot give what you do not have. So the discipline of focusing on yourself is really an act of preparation. You are sharpening your tools, strengthening your mind, protecting your heart, and guarding your spirit so that when it is time to step forward, you step forward with power. People often mistake silence for weakness, but silence is strength in disguise. The lion does not roar at every movement in the jungle. It waits, it watches, it studies, and when the moment is right, it strikes with precision. You must learn to be the same. Everything does not deserve a roar. Some things only require patience, self-control, and focus. If you keep roaring at everything, you will exhaust yourself before the real battle even begins. Focus also requires shutting down distractions that masquerade as opportunities. Not every open door is meant for you. Not every invitation is aligned with your destiny. Not every person who wants access deserves access. When you are focused, you know how to say no without guilt. You know how to walk away without explaining. You know how to protect your time, your energy, and your vision because you understand that every yes to distraction is a no to your purpose. The more you grow, the more you will realize that the loudest voices are not always the wisest. The people who constantly need to be heard are often the ones with the least to say. True power moves quietly. True wisdom does not need to announce itself. True transformation does not scream for attention. It is in the quiet seasons, the hidden moments, the silent work, that greatness is formed, and when the time comes, the fruit of your focus will speak louder than any words ever could. There comes a point in your journey where you must accept that your future is too valuable to be constantly explained, defended, or debated with people who were never assigned to carry it with you. When you begin to walk in the calling on your life, not everyone will understand it, and that is perfectly fine. Understanding is not required for you to be obedient to what is inside you. Approval is not required for you to pursue what you were born to do. What is required is focus, and focus demands that you learn how to stay silent when noise tries to pull you away from your purpose. Staying silent is not about suppressing your voice, it is about protecting your vision. It is about recognizing that words are seeds, and you cannot afford to throw your seeds on soil that cannot produce a harvest. Not everyone is ready to receive what you carry. Not everyone is qualified to handle your vulnerability. Not everyone deserves to hear your dreams while they are still in their fragile stages of becoming. Silence is how you guard what God is growing in you until it is strong enough to stand. When you learn the discipline of silence, you discover the power of restraint. There is a strength that comes from not reacting, not clapping back, not lowering yourself to the level of those who are trying to distract you. There is a power in choosing peace over arguments, clarity over chaos, direction over drama. Your silence says more than your words ever could. It says you are focused. It says you are unbothered. It says you are more concerned with where you are going than with what people are saying. Focusing on yourself is not a retreat from responsibility. It is preparation for destiny. You cannot build what you were created to build if you are constantly pouring yourself into meaningless conversations, empty battles, and fruitless connections. To focus is to discipline your mind, your time, and your heart. It is to choose to invest in your growth, your healing, your development, and your future, even when others do not see the value in it. You cannot expect others to take your life seriously if you will not first take it seriously yourself. Silence becomes the environment where strength is restored. In the quiet, your mind finds peace. In the quiet, your heart finds rest. In the quiet, your spirit finds direction. Too much noise will confuse you, drain you, and scatter your energy. But silence gathers your strength, sharpens your vision, and prepares you for what lies ahead. It is in those unseen, unheard moments that the deepest transformation takes place. The enemy understands that if he cannot stop you, he will distract you, and one of the greatest distractions is the urge to constantly explain yourself, constantly defend yourself, constantly prove yourself. But you do not owe anyone an explanation for the way God is shaping you. You do not need to prove to anyone that you are changing. You do not need to announce every step of your journey. When the time is right, the evidence will speak for itself. Your results will tell the story. Your growth will silence the critics. Your fruit will reveal what your words never could. As you focus on yourself, you will also notice that the higher you climb, the fewer voices you will hear. The higher you go, the smaller your circle will become. Growth demands separation, and separation requires silence. It means not taking everyone with you. It means not sharing everything with everyone. It means being comfortable with moving forward even if you have to move forward alone. That is the cost of becoming who you were meant to be. The truth is, your life is too important to be wasted on noise. Your calling is too great to be squandered on distractions. Your destiny is too precious to be delayed by arguments, gossip, or the need for approval. So focus on yourself, stay silent, and let the transformation within you become the loudest voice in the room.